Okay, so check it out. This is a half of a rack of lamb. Why half? Because it's only for me and maybe one other person. You got to take the fat off. I love fat, but it's too much. The fat away because there's mad flavor inside of it. So what we're going to do is heat it and extract the flavor. And then we're going to add bacon. Because when have you ever added bacon to something and it didn't taste better? And if you don't eat bacon, I don't know what's wrong with you. Something's wrong with you. While that's happening, we're going to take this film off the back of the lamb. Pork ribs, beef ribs, lamb, they all have this film on the back. If you don't take it off, the flavor of whatever you're putting on, whatever seasonings, will not hit the meat. It'll stay on top of that film. That don't mean it's not going to taste good. It just means it's not going to penetrate the meat. So take it off. It takes freaking 15 seconds to take off. Once we take that off, I'm going to cut a pocket inside the middle of it. The reason I'm doing that is because I want flavor in the center of the meat. I'm greedy. I don't want just the outside to taste good. I want the middle to taste good. So I took garlic, rosemary, onions, fresh, all of it. And I sauteed it, for maybe 5 minutes and blended it all together. And I'm going to mash that down inside it. And what's going to happen is the internal temp rises. Those flavors are going to emanate throughout the meat. Trust me when I tell you it's going to be good. See the oil coming off that? It's pretty good, pretty good. So now let's take care of the outside. We're trying to get a little crust here. And it's really simple. It's salt, pepper, and rosemary. You could put cumin, you could put turmeric, you could use Middle Eastern spices, you can use Indian spices. You could do whatever you want. But for me, I'm keeping it simple here. So the next step is going to be pan searing. That's the term you're going to hear when you're watching your favorite show on the Food Network. As you look and see here, the bacon's 95% done. I didn't put any of that liquid you see in there. That all came out of the lamb fat. And when I tell you that the flavor in that fat is bananas, take my word for it, man. It's the great foundation to be able to build a sauce, which is what we're going to do. But before we build a sauce, we want to do what's called a pan sear, which is basically taking any pan, temperature high, with a liquid that has a high smoke point. You can't really pan sear with butter because the smoke point is low. You're not trying to cook it through. You're not trying to do any of that. All you're doing is sealing up the pores of the meat so that as it cooks in the oven, the juices stay inside and, get a little bit of color. I'm not worried about the brownness because I know that the temperature I use in the oven is going to create the color that I want. So from here we go to the oven and we're cooking to a number. The number we're cooking to is 135, 137. We'll end up at 142, 145. That'll be medium rares. In the meantime, we start building the sauce. We start with basics. Onions that I dice up so freaking small that when the heat hits it and it cooks for like 3 to 5 minutes, when I put that sauce on there, you are not even going to know that onion and garlic was in there other than the flavor. You will not feel those little tiny specks in your mouth. You just won't. They will disintegrate, if you will. So those go in the bowl with the leftover rosemary and garlic. And you're going to kind of saute these for, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes, right? You're just trying to get them cooked a little bit. It really don't matter how long you cook it because if you put it in the sauce, they're so small, it's going to cook in the sauce. I'm going to add some red wine here. I would suggest not a red wine that has sugar in it, that's sweet, something kind of neutral, but good enough that you would drink it. The next step is going to be heavy cream. Over the years, I've been doing this so long, I've learned that certain things go well together, and heavy cream and Dijon mustard go well together. Heavy cream and nutmeg go well together, like peanut butter and jelly or Corona and lime. They just go well together. So I'm going to add a little bit of chicken bouillon, like powder, just because I want to fortify the flavor that's in that cream. And then that's it. It's done. I would simmer it for maybe 5 minutes, 8 minutes to the thickness you want, and then it's ready to go. So the lamb is out. I'm confident that my temperature's right because there's a thermometer sticking out the side there. And that's one of the many that I have, and I count on it. I trust it. I trust science. Science is real. So the internal temp hit 130. I think I took it out at like 132, 135. It'll end up somewhere in the low 140s, which science says is medium rare for lamb. And you just got to trust the science, man. It's real. Next step is we're going to plate it up. So I made some white jasmine rice. If I got to teach you how to make rice, come on, man. I'll do it, but rice is not hard. That looks pretty darn good. So this is only 4 bones. A regular full rack of lamb has, I think, 8 or 9 bones. I can't eat that many. So what I'm trying to do is teach you guys how to cook for yourselves and maybe your spouse or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or you and your roommate. It's not that hard. You just got to know what you're doing. And it's scalable. You know, you can go from half a rack to a full rack. So you can see by the color, science is on point. You can also see in the center, that pocket that I talked about, you see that color green in there. That's our garlic, our rosemary, our onions. And I'm telling you that flavor has radiated throughout the inside of the meat, so the thing is fully engulfed in flavor. We'll take this cream sauce with Dijon, spoon it over the top, and that is our half a rack of lamb with a mustard cream sauce, which is off the hook. Now, I've been doing this a long time. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that everything I make all the time comes out great. That would be a lie. But today, damn it, I hit that shit out the park. It's legit. So that right there is half a rack of lamb for one.